long time no talk, YouTube. I don't even remember the last video I posted. But I want to preface this for everyone that isn't doing the Fallon Taylor challenge, since this is just going to be public and open to YouTube. It's, how do I explain this? It's a challenge, right? And my goal is I at least need to ride 3 times a day. Ideally, in a perfect world, I'd like to ride every single day. I'm going to be starting with Moon, my 5-year-old. And it's, the challenge is so open-ended. But I guess my main goal is that I want to be able to trust my horse and get on and feel like I know what I'm doing. So I just feel the need to preface beforehand of what this video is about. Today was our first day riding. We just took it easy and we tracked the pattern. So nothing crazy, just walking it, trotting it, loping it over and over and over again. I'm not asking for speed in this, but the idea is to just install the pattern on your horse. I didn't really make much of an intro before I did it, so I felt the need to do it now. Anyways, hope you enjoy. I'm getting a late start to riding, but a good start with everything else, because I decided to do all the stalls now, and then my mom came with her trainer, and she does her lessons, so now I have the arena to myself. But first, I have to drag it. We have, I never gave like a good tour of this property, and maybe I'll do that on like one of my off days. But we have, the dimensions aren't exact, and we know they're not exact because we had to measure the arena when we put new footing in. But it's supposed to be 150 by 250, and I think it's like 140, I think it's 142 by, it was 246. And we know that because there's an association here that wants to run their shows, which is great. I love that. That's my dream. I love to share my stuff. I want to share this property with people. And they need to set up their standard pattern, but they need to have a bigger shutdown than the WPRA does. So, and they were like, your arena is 4 feet short. So we pushed it out exactly 4 feet, but we couldn't push it out the whole way across because of these support beams right there. Do you see that? So we pushed it out between the support beams behind the third barrel, which I thought was funny. But I'm going to drag it, which is fun. I love dragging the ground. And it's been nice because where I used to live, I boarded, and the owner let me have control of the ground, and then he suddenly hated me all of a sudden, and then I was no longer allowed to mess with the ground because he thought that diesel was too expensive for the tractor, even though I was paying for it. It was a whole thing. So, but anyways, point being now is that I'm grateful for this. And we just put new ground in. I think it's the best ground that's in this whole freaking county. But anyways, let's get this ground drug up. Update. I'm dragging the ground. I'm about halfway through. And this damn dog's gonna be the death of me. All I hear is her friggin' barking. Anyways, and I look down and I see that I'm about to run out of diesel. So I need to go do that. Also, freaking, and it was funny because I just said like, oh, I'm really glad I'm in charge of the ground and like all this other crap. Yeah, when I wasn't in charge of that, when they were doing the arena renovation and they were like putting in the extra panels or whatever, they brought a freaking excavator into the arena, and that thing is freaking heavy. So like where the ground is like super compact, and the ground, that's where that push out isn't mixed with the rest of the ground. So the ground's not going to be fantastic today, and I'm going to put water on it and condition it tomorrow a little bit better. But I didn't want to put water when the ground's not completely even, because then I can't get consistent with the drag, and I don't have a drag that I can easily press a button to go up and down. It's a toe behind, and I'm not getting on and off to change it every single time I realize that it needs a different depth. So I'm at least trying to get it even if there's some like slight waves. I'll take the slight waves over the frickin' tracks where a whole excavator was. But anyways, So here's the ride, the meat and the bones of it. I thought I would explain a little bit about what's going on. So we were instructed not to do anything crazy. This is more of an install. He is patterned. I feel like he almost kind of anticipates. I went in here thinking about, I don't want to pick on him. I want to instill confidence. I want him to think that he knows what he's doing and that my actions are predictable. Oh, another thing I should preface is that while this whole entire ride is going on, I had someone fixing the announcer's booth, and you can hear it in the video, and it's right by where my camera is. So Moon did a good job. He didn't freak out. This is kind of how he is. Like, he might have been a little looky, but he's not going, oh, like, I'm out, I'm not doing this. I do cut the video just to kind of save time on it, so I'm not making a whole, 24-minute video. But whenever I did go ahead and I stopped him, I made sure to keep that in. But I saved y'all the 60 seconds by cutting the video. When I'm going to the barrel, I think our biggest problem barrel at the moment is the first. And I think it's because when I go to the first barrel, I feel him want to turn too soon, and I don't have a chance to push him forward, because even when I try to put my leg on or when I sit forward, he's still trying to turn the barrel. I don't think he understands the idea of rating. I'm going to trust the process and not throw too many things at him at once. So when I go to the first barrel, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not kicking him. I'm not putting this crazy amount of leg on, because I don't want him to think in the early stages while we're trying to install this, oh, mom's going to kick me. And I want him to be relaxed. He loves to snap around the first barrel. It's like a hobby of his. So I'm just opening up my arm, and I put a little bit of outside leg on to close the door. And here he trots. I'm not asking him for this, but I don't want to pick a fight with him, so I just go with it, and I just keep giving him the same cue. I try to give it at the same time, but he's a little rusty to the pattern. I'm a lot of bit rusty at the pattern. And so you'll see him kind of toss his head, or he'll kind of be like, ooh, why are you grabbing me? And I just play it cool. I just do the same thing every single time. And sometimes when I pull, I feel like he wants to give to the bit, or he'll do something really funky. And other times he's like, hey, why are you grabbing me? So like I said, I'm just trying to be consistent with my cues and not making a surprise. When I stop him after we come back from the third barrel and we get on the right side of that fence, I sit and then I pull, and he still fusses about it, but we just go for it. That was a really nice second barrel. I was so proud of him. And then the third, he used to kind of always do this little funky, oh, not sure. But like I said, I'm just trying to be consistent. And if he wants to toss his head, I'm just whatever, we're going with it. And I don't feel like he's out of control. I definitely feel when he's a little more hey, why are you doing that? But at no point when I'm riding him do I feel oh, he's going to take off from underneath me. I feel like he's just being a baby. So even when I back him up here, I'm just hey, I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm not, putting on pressure or really getting after him. It's so funny looking at these videos and seeing the weird stuff that I'm doing with my body. And I guess with him, I do try to over exaggerate it. And I feel like with me, it's good to over exaggerate it too. Especially when things start speeding up a little bit. And like I said, at no point am I, asking him to rate down by pulling on him. I'm not asking him to speed up. And if he wants to go at the first barrel at a trot, I'll let him. If he wants to go at a walk, then I'll let him. So Moon is 100% in control of the pace here. And it just reminded me there's a time to pick a fight, and this isn't it, because the goal for the day is just, hey, this is what we're doing. Can we be consistent? Can I be consistent with my cues and give him the same cue the same way every single time? So I was really happy with that. So right here, it's I'm not asking him to go forward or anything. He wants to pick up the lope, so I just let him. And right there, I'm looking at my body and I can almost kind of like catch myself wanting to be like, ooh, I need you to stay off it for like just an extra second. So once again, if he wants to pick up the trot, I just let him. I'm trying to stay still with my body and let him know, like, this is our rate point. We need to chill out a little bit. So here he went on the wrong lead, and I just remembered, like, this isn't what we're picking on today. So he kind of puts his head up and he wants to fix it, and I just tried to give him the same cue. The horse trainer in me that starts horses, when things happen like this, it's almost like you want to get back right at it. And so I'm just trying to remember what Fallon was saying in her explanation of how she's doing this is, ride like a 5-year-old trying to train him. So I'm trying to throw out all of this knowledge that I have that I'm like, oh, this is how you fix this, and just being like, this isn't what we're working on, you need to let it go. I did stop him after this, and I was able to just do it with my body. So I totally just let him. I thought about stopping here. I couldn't tell you why I didn't. But I was like, you know what, let's stop after the 3rd barrel, and that's what I ended up doing. And I like how after, we're able, he lopes through the pattern, he gets excited, and he knows what his job is, that he can still come back and walk. And the other times that he's trotting, for today, I let it go. And I think that's important when it comes to training horses, and I need to take my own advice with my own instead of a client's horses. Some things you just got to let go in order to get the goal, get the objective of the day done. But he did good, even though he wanted to look and pay attention to something else. When it's time to turn and when he feels my body, he comes around. See, that's how I want him to go around the barrel, and it was perfect. So I stopped him in just a random spot. I was able to use my body to get him to slow down, and we didn't die. Love it. So to finish the video, I just want to give my thoughts in case I missed anything in the voiceover and while it's fresh in my head. Maybe I said it, maybe I didn't, I don't remember. He has been started on the pattern, and he gets the idea. Not once did I ask him to go quicker. I think the one time that I did cluck at him was in like very light clucking, like not even like just like a, the horse people know what I mean. So that's the only time, because I feel like he really wants to like shut down and turn too early at the 1st barrel. So I think the biggest thing for me was just I need to look forward. And like I said, most of what I'm trying to do is like trusting him. So when he like went to the 3rd barrel on the wrong lead, I was like, either he'll stumble or he'll trot or he'll bow out of this, but I am just going to be like the rock. I'm going to be center. And it worked out. And so obviously nothing about it's perfect, but I don't think we're going to hit perfection for a really, really long time. I don't think perfection even exists. Because if it did, then what else are you striving for? Overall, I'm really proud of him. I want him to read my body a little bit more, so I think I am going to incorporate more of the, hey, I'm sitting, that means you need to stop. When I first got him, he was being ridden in a twisted snaffle, and the amount of fuss that horse throws with that bit drove me nuts. And so at least with this, he might do a little like head shaking, or he might want to suck behind, but it's not a constant, fight with him. And at the end of the day, I kind of want him to be comfortable, and he's coming around. And so I feel like I don't have a good judge of my horse because I've never been able to be consistent with him, which is why I'm excited to be doing this with some guidance and videoing it and doing all of that. Another total unrelated side goal is I do want to get more into posting YouTube videos. Ever since I moved here, it's been something that I want to do just because of all the crazy activities that we have going. When I was in the arena, we have someone that we hired, and he's super cool. He does ranch tours for us. He's fixing the announcer's booth right now. So while I was in the arena doing all of this, that was going on. So it's like the hammering and the sawing and everything, and him like bringing pieces of wood over. In the beginning, I kind of like lunged Moon for a little bit, and he was, keeping an eye out. But when I rode him, he might have looked over there, but it was never like a hard stop. I'm not doing this. So I think today went very, very well. I don't know how many times I went through the pattern, and like when he like loped, it was the first time he loped, like the 2nd and 3rd. I like looked down at him and I was like, I don't know how many times we've done this. I didn't want to get him too sour to it. I feel like he could have done that all day without getting like super frustrated, but he wasn't sweaty or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep up with that. I'm going to try to watch my body a little bit more and just make sure that I'm giving him the same ride every single time, even if he isn't exactly responding to it. But I feel like because he's so young, he needs to understand that, like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit. I'm going to ask you to come across, and that's it. I did catch myself one time trying to like get the shoulder up, and I was like, nope, screw it. If he goes in and it doesn't look great, like, that's fine. We need a starting point. We need to get somewhere. But I'm super happy with him. I think I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to start incorporating just a little more, when I sit, you need to stop. The only time I feel like he really focuses is when he's dealing with the barrels, because that's the thing that he knows best. But yeah, anyways, woohoo!